Hi, how are you? Happy Sunday. And so I wanted to hop on here really quickly and talk about born sinners and what it actually means when we're speaking about this in a metaphysical terms and mysticism. And so we know that we are in the likeness of the divine, that Spirit made us perfect, whole, and we are the embodiment of God, because God made us perfect. So when we are connected at a soul level to Spirit, we are actually whole and perfect. But when we're actually born with our mother's karma, and not just karma, but like all that she felt, we felt it in the womb, and all that her mother felt, our grandmother felt when she was in the womb, my mom also feels it, which means that I'm also carrying everything my grandmother and my grandmother and grandmother and so on. My DNA is pregnated with all the women in my lineage. And so if you think about it, when I was born, I'm actually born as a sinner because I'm carrying all that energy from my ancestors. And in family constellations, there's this term that says that we do it out of love. So out of love, we take on their garbage, their karma, whatever is that they need to clear, because we want to heal our lineage, and out of love we take it on ourselves, which means that shows up in our lives with bad relationships. It shows up in our life with our prosperity being a lack mentality, our prosperity being hindered, or diseases and so on. So because we're carrying that energy, we're trying to clear it out of love. And so basically it's a lot of our parents' karma. And this is why it's so, if you're a parent, it's so important that you do everything from a place of integrity and a place of love, and that you start really embodying that transformation that God is. It's a surrendering to God, that everything you do it out of surrender to Spirit, to God, because everything has a consequence. Karma is basically a reaction. From what you do, you get a reaction. It's cause and effect. So that's simply what it means. So it's actually a law. So what you're giving to the universe, you will give back to you. And it's just a cycle that keeps circulating. But the way that we stop it is when we start living from a place of dharma. We start living from a highest place, and we do everything from integrity, from love, from a space of love, and then we're devoting ourselves to God. We're devoting ourselves to Spirit. And so when we're conscious of ourselves, we're born again. So the term that Christians use is born again. This is about being conscious of your thoughts, being conscious how you're thinking, doing everything from integrity. If you find yourself going through this cycle that you keep repeating the same cycles, it's because you're not paying attention to your thoughts. You're not paying attention to what you're doing. This is a practice, and it takes time. It takes devotion. It takes discipline. It really does. It takes lots of discipline for you to start looking at yourself, start questioning everything you do, how you're feeling, how you're looking at the world, how you're judging others, why you're judging others, and where these beliefs, these perceptions are coming from. Are they coming from you? Are they coming from others? And so being conscious of ourselves, we start reprogramming ourselves, and we start allowing ourselves to be in that high expression of Spirit, because God is loving and kind. God is this ultimate divine expression of Spirit that lives within us and moves within us, but we have to allow it to express itself. And so the old you, the party you, the one who was chaos and chaotic, dramatic, that part of you has to die, and you have to start living from the expression of Spirit. But how do you do this? You do this by being conscious, by meditating, by devoting your life to Spirit, to God. Because Spirit will take care of you, and you start flowing from this place of love. You start flowing from this expression that God is moving through you, and God is the only expression that lives. And so reprogramming your thoughts, reprogramming your mind, doing everything from a place of love. And in the first years, it seems hard, And as the years go by, because I've been doing this for a very long time, and I still tumble, I still have fallen, I still make mistakes, I still do things that sometimes I'm just like, oh my God, why am I doing this? I'm repeating the same cycles, but I'm catching myself. But you grow out of it, you really do. You start aligning yourself more to God the more you have this devotional practice. So it's this discipline to God, this discipline to Spirit. When I talk about discipline specifically, I'm not talking about discipline about religious discipline, because religious discipline is very narrow, it's very this way, it's very anal, and I don't like that. For me, God is the embodiment of flowing. So having discipline is flowing with God, it's listening to my intuition. When something feels right, when something doesn't feel right, I listen to it. I listen it with my thoughts, where when I'm being negative or I'm just not expressing that divinity of God, that I take a break, that I allow myself to take care of myself, and to allow myself to give myself time to truly see where everything's coming from, and really embodying that presence of God, because that's what we're doing. That is a devotional practice, that we wake up in the morning in a grateful way, and that we meditate. And meditation is not what to make it seem like it's this perfect way of like just being still and quiet. Know that when we are meditating, we're looking at ourselves, we're clearing ourselves, we're putting that light into our shadow, we're putting that light into those parts of us that we don't want to see. That's what the shadow is. And that we're able to look at it and allow it to go, because that's where true transformation comes from, is when we look at it. In family constellations specifically, when we are healing something, we're putting the light on that specific problem. That it can come from an ancestor, it can come from many other places, but we're putting the light into it so we can actually clear it. And we're actually starting family constellation circles, which is a wonderful online we're going to be meeting weekly. It's a wonderful way for us to start establishing our intuition, our gifts as healers, and clearing away a lot of that karma that our ancestors, that we're carrying, because out of love we're doing so. And so I invite you to join us, and it's every Saturday. And so carrying our ancestors' karma is just a lot, because I know from experience that when I've noticed experiences that my father has done, things that my father has done that my mom has told me, I've seen it, how it has come back into my own life, how I'm paying for some of that stuff, or things that my mom has done that I have repeated the cycle, and then I can see that my children were affected. And so it's this clearing. We just have to clear. We have to be alert and conscious of what we're doing, what we're saying. If you find yourself repeating the same cycles that your dad did, that your mother did, it's because you are in that rotation, that you're trying to heal it. And so in family constellations, we'll look at it, we clear it, and we move on from the issue. Really leave it up all to God. And this is a devotional practice that I am speaking about, is having that devotional practice of Spirit all the time. Our life is about God. Our life is about making those high decisions and living our life from integrity, so we don't have that cause and effect that is going to come back and bite us in the butt. And so everything we do has consequences. And this is why we have to do everything with integrity, because every single thing we do is going to have a consequence. It is cause and effect, and we just have to be very conscious of this law, cause and effect, the law of karma, that everything will come back. All that we do, if it doesn't come back to us, it's going to come back to our children, and our children are going to pay for it. That we are still paying things that our ancestors did, and it could be killing, it could be whatever it was in the past, and we are going to somehow have to, I wouldn't say pay for it, but we're going to have to somewhat clear it. And it's going to affect us in our health, it's going to affect us some way. And so living our life from integrity is very important. And so in the spiritual healer training that it's starting in April, we have 1 month specifically about ancestors, and you'll learn all about the laws, the universal laws. You'll learn how to heal yourself, how to clear a lot of this thing. And I know that a lot of my students are in the course specifically to help themselves clear, but then you're going to want to do this. You're going to want to help other people clear themselves as well, because this is part of the work that we're here to do as spiritual warriors. We're here to help others, to serve others, and to be a light in the world. And so I invite you to join me. Registration closes very soon. Kisses.